This song's a protest song that was out a few years ago. It's called Eve of Destruction. The eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring, borders loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River's got borders floating. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fears I'm feeling today? If the button is pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no one to save. We'll be a world in a grave. Take a look around you, boy. It's bound to scare you, boy. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Well, I was so mad, it's like coagulating, and I'm sitting here just contemplating. I can't bring in the truth, it knows no regulation. A handful of senators don't pass legislation when marchers alone can bring in innovation. When human respect is disintegrating, this whole crazy world is just too frustrating. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Think of all the hate there is in Red China, and take a look around the bomb in Alabama. You may leave here for 4 days in space, but when you return, it's the same old place. The pounding of the drums, the fighting and disgrace. You can bury your dead, but don't leave a trace. Hate your next door neighbor, but don't forget to say friends. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. No, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. I'm going to do a song now. It was written by Peter Doyle. He used to sing with the New Seekers. It's called I Can Say You're Beautiful. Here, it's just a little song, a simple little song, to let you know I love you. At first, I thought I'd write a song, express my views on politics, impress you with my guitar tricks. But now I'll step right out of line. Stop trying to be a genius and blow the real truth. It's just that I get introverted wanting you. Here's my little love song. I can see you're beautiful, and with my song I'll sing my heart to you. I'm sometimes a moody guy, but you're so understanding. Thank you, Lord, for sending her to me. I would like to do with you the things that lovers do, leave worldly cares behind them. And if we packed up all the love, I'd have to buy some finger picks and brush up on my guitar riffs and write a song called Please Come Back. And if I could, I'd comfort you and know the reason too. It's just that I get introverted wanting you. Here's my little love song. I can see you're beautiful, and with my song I'll sing my heart to you. I'm sometimes a moody guy, but you're so understanding. Thank you, Lord, for sending her to me.
Thank you.
John Fury. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of the evening, would you welcome back to St Andrews, Dick Gaughan.
Well, start off with a couple of tunes I learned from a guy called Cahill McConnell, who spends all his life playing the flute, literally. A couple of tunes. The first one's called Lagstrom's Pony, which is a jig about an Irishman called Lagstrom, who's highland likely. And the second one is a tune which he learned from a guy called Tommy Peebles. But Peebles was a bit pissed when he taught him the tune, and Cahill couldn't remember the name. So, a tune called Tommy Peebles' Dig. This is a song which comes from Aberdeenshire. I haven't a clue who I learned it from, but it's a song about the... it's a strange thing, but it's very difficult in Scotland not to become an alcoholic with the very civilised and enlightened licensing laws that we've got. But this is a song about a guy who does the other and goes completely teetotal. It's the unlikeliest song I know. Apart from the fact that he goes teetotal, the even more outrageous thing is that he does it for matrimonial reasons, which had me completely baffled. But there you go. I always find that matrimonial reasons tend to drive you the other way. But there you go. It's a song called Farewell to Whiskey, conveniently. I'll pick it up, is it? Johnny, my man, do you know think arising for the days we'll spend and nights coming on? The cellars all deny and the jaws still empty. So rise up, my Johnny, and come away. For the bairns at hame are all roaring and greeting, they meal in the barrel to fill their wame wings, while ye sit here and drink and you'll be fast lamenting. So rise up, my Johnny, and come away. Was that at the door that is speaking so kindly? It's the voice of my wee wifey Maggie by name. Come in, my dear lassie, I'm sitting beside me, as a room and the sailors are marrying on me. Johnny, my man, they no mind the curtain, and the long summer's days and they ne'er had an end, and would spend these long days among the sweet scented roses, and ne'er be the thought upon gone away. I mind for these times that you speak of, but these days they are gone, I am born ne'er come again. But as for the present, we will try for to mend it. So gaze your hand, Maggie, and it's I'll away. And it's Johnny Rose, and he banged the door open, saying, cursed be the ale who's not let me in. I am cursed be the whiskey that made me aye thirsty, and fare ye well, hoskie, for I'm o'er. This is a tune which was composed by the blind Irish harpist Turlough Carolan, who lived in the 18th century in Ireland. And it's a very peculiar thing that Carolan's music was never accepted by the Irish tradies until a man called Sean Riordan came along. I don't know why. Maybe it's a bit too groovy for them or something. But Riordan brought Carolan's music back into popularity again. It's going to be interesting to see if somebody eventually writes a book about the effect that Sean Riordan has had, in fact, on Irish music. Because if it hadn't been for Riordan, and groups like the Chieftains, Boys of the Lough, Planksty, etc., would never have existed. But this is one of the Planksties. It's a tune called Planky Johnson, or in fact it's almost Planky Johnson, because I learned it again from Cathal McConnell, and I was slightly refreshed at the time. And I met Cathal about a year later, and I found that I had a completely different first part from his first part, but so it's nearly Planky Johnson. It's a song I learned from a fella called Bob Ling. I don't know if you know Bob at all. He's schizophrenic, to say the least. He's got about 5 different names that he uses for different things. Like, he's a sculptor, and he's a painter, so he's got different names for those. And he's also become an actor, so he uses a different name for that. and he writes books and uses a different name for that. It gets a bit confused after a while because you don't know who the hell he is, you don't know what to address him as. You know? But he also collects songs from various sources, and this is a version of a ballad I learned from Bob. I always find this, I think people tend to take songs like this too seriously. I find this song really hilarious in places, because it's the song Lord Randall. Now, you probably know, in fact you must know at least one version of the song, but I always find this really amusing that this guy has just been murdered, like, and he's lying there, and he's coughing his lungs up and squeezing out his last. And while he's doing that, all his family are standing around him saying, right, you have his houses, and I'll take his bank balance. And that really appeals to my sense of humour, you know. But there you go. Anyway, it's a version of the song Lord Randall, and if you can guess the tune, you don't get a prize. But it took me a long time to realise what tune this was, and only then after I'd been told. And it's probably the most common tune in folk tradition. Actually, it's an English tune, strangely enough. Oh, and where hae you been, Lord Randall, my son? Oh, and where hae you been, my bonny young man? I have been to the greenwood, mither, mak my bed soon. But I'm weary with the hunting, and I fain would lie down. And were it ye your supper, Lord Randall, my son? And were it ye your supper, my bonny young man? Well, I ate away my sweetheart, mother, mak my bed soon. But I'm weary with the hunting, and I fain would lie down. And were it ye at your sweetheart, Lord Randall, my son? And were it ye at your sweetheart, my bonny young man? I had eels biled and ale bray, mother, mak my bed soon. For I'm weary with the hunter, and I fain would lie down. And where are your good hounds, Lord Randall, my son? And where are your good hounds, my bonny young man? Well, so well done, died, mother, mak my bed soon. For I'm weary with the hunting, and I fain would lie down. Oh, fear ye are peasant, O Lord Randall, my son. Oh, fear ye are peasant, my bonny young man. Oh, yes, I am peasant, mother, mak my bed soon. But I'm weary with the hunter, and I fain would lie down. And what will leave you to your brother, Lord Randall, my son? And what will leave you to your brother, my bonny young man? My lands and my houses, mother, mak my bed soon. But I'm weary with the hunter, and I fain would lie down. And what will leave you to your sister, Lord Randall, my son? And what will leave you to your sister, my bonny young man? My rings and my gold medal mark my bed soon. But I'm weary with the hunting, and I found Leiden. And what leave you to your sweetheart, Lord Randall, my son? And what leave you to your sweetheart, my bonny young man? The rope and the halter that hangs on yon tree, and there'll let her hang for the poison on me. Well, I'll keep this set pretty short actually, and do a fairly much longer second set. I'll just finish up with another tune actually. This one is a tune which is a sort of comes from the Scottish bagpipes. Very strange thing about the bagpipes. I've got a very strong musical perversion. I think the bagpipes are the most beautiful instrument that was ever invented. But it's played by one guy, that is. If you get a bloody pipe band full of them, then they're appalling. But you get one piper, it's great. But this is a tune which illustrates the thing about the bag. I don't know if there's any English people here at all, but if there are, then this tune is going to sound extremely alien to their ears, because the bagpipes, the drones always hold the note A, or approximately the note A. And the thing is, you can play in 3 keys in a major. You can play in the key of A, which is no problem. Then you can play in the key of D, which the A drone fits in with quite nicely at times. And then you can play in the key of G. Now, you don't really need to know a great deal about musical theory to know that if you're playing in the key of G and you've got a constant A note all the time, then someone's got to give. It's amazing that it doesn't actually. But this is a tune. The reason I explain all this is that about 6 weeks ago I played this tune in a folk club. And a guy came up afterwards and said, look, I enjoyed that tune you played, but did you realise your guitar was hell of off out of tune? So I usually explain that the guitar, I hope, will be in tune. But it's just this tune called the Jig of Slurs. And the first half of it is in D, and the second half of it is in G. And all the time you've got an A going through it, which makes it a wee bit weird, in fact.
Right. Dick Gaughan, Dick will be back later on. At the moment, we're going to have an interval and we'll be selling raffle tickets for our record of the week. This week, it's another Scottish traditional singer called John Denver. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome, please. Dave Montgomery.
I don't care. I at least look after it, as you can see. Only 8 years old. Well, no one's sung a Tom Paxton song yet, so I'm going to. No one's done a funny yet, but I'm not going to sing a funny tonight. Unless I get mixed up, and then I will. This one's called I've Got Nothing But Time. It's one of his golden oldies. And after each bit of verse there's a bit that sounds the same each time. But it's not a chorus. But you can join in. We could talk for an hour without resting, and not a single sentence would be heard. I could tell in a moment you were leaving, but you didn't have to say a word. And you know better than I do just what you're hoping to find. Ah, you've got a lot to think over, and I've got nothing but time. What you gave me I never dared to question. Why you love me, I guess I'll never know. From the very first moment that you touched me, you were making your plans to go. And you know better than I do just what you're hoping to find. Ah, you've got a lot to think over, and I've got nothing but time. I will walk on down to the corner. I'll be watching from the corner of my eye. I wouldn't try to stop you leaving, but I was never much for saying goodbye. And you know better than I do just what you're hoping to find. Ah, you've got a lot to think over, and I've got nothing but time. I've got nothing but time. Dave Berlin's got a couple of LPs out, so I'm led to believe. I've only heard one of them, and just recently I got it on tape and started learning one or two of his songs. And having taped the LP, I got all the songs, but I didn't get any titles, which is a bit sad. But this one's about a fair young maid what lived in Stoke Road, and she loved this sailor, and he loved her, so I'm led to believe. But he went off to sea and got drowned death, and she found him on the beach, and you know this sort of thing. It's one of those poignant. It's really tragic. He sings it very well, this guy. Anyway, that's the gen. I don't know what the title is. Call it what you like. And I'm going after this one. On Stoke Road, a fair young maid did dwell. She loved a handsome sailor, he loved her quite as well. He promised he would marry her when home he did return. But ah, what misfortunes the world it does contain. As they were a-sailing by night, the moon it was shaded, and dismal was the night. The storm it was a-raging, and waves the vessel bore, and dashed those poor sailors all on the rocky shore. Now some of them were single, and some of them had wives, but all of those poor sailor lads had to swim for their lives. But this unhappy sailor, who tried his life to save, instead of being married, he found a watery grave. As she was a-walking from Stowbroughton Bay, she saw a drowned sailor who on the sand did lay. The nearer she drew to him, it brought her to a stand. She spied it was her true love by the mark upon his hand. She's kissed him, caressed him 10,000 times all o'er, and said these awful billows have washed my love ashore. And then this pretty damsel, she's laid down by his side, and in a few moments she's kissed him and died. This couple was a buried in Robin Hood's churchyard, and for them a memorial stone at their head was raised. And all of you true lovers who do this way pass by, pray shed a tear of pity from out your glistening eye.
Right, David Montgomery. Our next singer is a visitor from America. Look at that three standing there. It's like watching an old telly movie, The Three Stooges. That's Puddock's Well standing at the back, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome, please. Doug Hamilton.
Good evening. Well, as you can readily tell from my accent, I'm American, and therefore I don't know any Scottish folk songs. But there is a song that was written in Boston, I'd say about 10, 12 years ago. I think it was done by the Kingston Trio, and I've never heard it done. So I don't know the tune, but I know the words, and I kind of know how it goes. So if anybody knows the tune, the chorus goes like this. By the way, the MTA is the Metropolitan Transit Authority of Boston. Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Would you please try the chorus? Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Well, let me tell you a story about a man named Charlie on a tragic and fateful day. He put 10 cents in his pocket, kissed his wife and family, went to ride on the MTA. Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. Poor old Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Well, Charlie handed in his dime at the Kendall Square station, and he changed for Jamaica Plain. When he got there, the conductor said, "One more nickel." Charlie couldn't get off that train. Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Well, now all night long Charlie rides through the station crying, "What will become of me? How can I afford to see my sister in Chelsea and my cousin in Roxbury?" Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. Poor old Charlie, he may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Now, Charlie's wife goes down to the Kendall Square station every day at 2:15. And through the open window she hands Charlie a sandwich as the train goes a-rumbling through. Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned. Well, now, you citizens of Boston, don't you think it's a scandal how people have to pay and pay? Well, fight the fare increase, vote for George O'Brien, and get Charlie off the MTA. Well, did he ever return? No, he never returned, and his fate is still unlearned. He may ride forever 'neath the streets of Boston. He's a man who never returned.
Right, Doug Hamilton. Our next performers, two young gentlemen who just turned up. Would you welcome, please, Dave Lennox and Steve Glenn.
Good evening. We'll soon get sorted out here. I'm going to do a few traditional ones, in fact two. And the first one's about this chap. He seems to have a bit of a hard time in life. His profession, so-called, is a cobbler, and that's the name of the song. Oh, my name is Dick Darby, I'm a cobbler. Some tell me time at the old camp. Some call me an old agitator. But now I'm resolving to repent. With me inting of an inting of an idea. With me inting of an inting of an idea. With me over and day. And me lapstone keeps a bait in our way. Now me father was hung for ship stealing. Me mother was burnt for a witch. Me sister's a dandy housekeeper. And I'm a mechanical switch. With the inting of an idea. with me inting of an idea, with me over and day, and me lapstone keeps a beating away. Well, it's 40 long years I have travelled, all by the contents of me pack, me hammers, me awls and me chisels, I carry them all on my back, with the inting of an idea, with me inting of an idea, with me over and day, and me lapstone keeps a beating away. Well, me wife, she is humpy, she's lumpy, me wife, she's the devil, she's black, no matter what I may do with her mouth it goes clickety-clack, with the inting of an idea, with me inting of an idea, with me over and day, and me lapstone keeps a beating away. Well, it was on some fine summer's morning, a little before it was day, I dipped her 3 times in the river and carelessly bade her good day, with me inting of an idea, with me inting of an idea, with me over and day, and me lapstone keeps a beating away.
Our next singer, an instrumentalist, a great friend of the club. It's always nice to see him here. Very nice to see him here tonight. Will you welcome, please, Brian Miller.
I like coming to this folk club because that's sort of pleasant memories for me. Every time I come here I'm steaming drunk. And tonight's not really any exception. So I always feel that a folk club isn't a folk club, and a night in a folk club isn't complete unless somebody sings the Wild Rover. So I'd like to sing for you tonight. I don't usually do this, I must admit. You know, I go to folk clubs, you know, and now and again somebody asks me to sing, and I maybe even tell a joke, but I don't usually sing the Wild Rover. But I thought, what the hell, tonight, you know. Do you know the chorus? I heard this smashing joke, a really brilliant joke, but I told it the last time I was up here, so it doesn't matter. I have been the Wild Rover for many is the year, and I spent all me money on ale and strong beer. And I'm now coming home with golden great store, and I ne'er shall be called na Wild Rover no more. Then it's Wild Roving I'll give over, I'll go roving no more, and I ne'er shall be called the Wild Rover no more. I went into some ale house where I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent, and I asked her for a bottle, and she said to me, nay, for it's custom like yours, we can have any day. Then it's Wild Rover, and I'll give over. I'll go roving no more, and I ne'er shall be called the Wild Rover no more. Then it's out of me pockets, I've pulled coins shining bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I have whiskey and wines of the best, and each word that I spoke sure 'twas only in jest. And it's Wild Rover, and I'll give over. I'll go roving no more, and I ne'er shall be called the Wild Rover no more. I'll go back to my parents like some prodigal son, and I'll ask them to pardon all the wrongs that I've done. And it's if they caress me as they've done at times before, then I never shall play the Wild Rover no more. And then it's roving I'll give over. I'll go roving no more, and I ne'er shall be called the Wild Rover no more. I seem the rest of my family is sitting down there shirking me. No. I suffer from this malaise, you see. I keep discovering songs that nobody else sings. I learn them, and the first time I sing them, about half a dozen people come up to me and say, "Yeah, such and such sings this." I found this song in Lough, which is a lovely book of Dublin street ballads and various sort of Irish songs. And I thought, shit, nobody sings this, and I learned it. And I hadn't been singing it about half a week, but about half a dozen people had come up and said, there's this guy in Cornwall sings it. A wee bit different from you, but it's almost the same. Here it is anyway. It's called The Jolly Farmer, and if you know the chorus, join in, because it hasn't got one ha-ha. You could sing God Save the Queen along with it, because it's in the same key. Me being dead clever, and really suave, I went home, when I found a song like that. I thought this is really sort of crying out for a really flash guitar accompaniment. So I sat down and I sort of worked out this really flash guitar accompaniment. And as soon as I get 2 pints into me, I can't play it. So about halfway through this, I'm going to fall to bits. Shit. Usually I get that far and then forget the first verse. Come each jolly fellow that likes to be mellow, attend unto me and sit easy. One jorum and quiet, my lads, let us try it. All thinking will drive a man crazy. For here I am king, let them drink, dance and sing. Let no man appear as a stranger, but show me the ass that refuses his class, and I'll order him hay in a manger. With me ploughing and sowing, me reaping and mowing, kind nature provides me with plenty. I've a garden well stored and a cell. Oh shit. I'll start that verse again, will you forget about that bit? Please. With me ploughing and sowing, me reaping and mowing, kind nature provides me with plenty. You know, I've completely forgotten this thing. Would you settle for the Irish Rover? Rubber. No, I can't remember that verse at all. I've got it all wrong. Does that count as a song, Andy? Fingers crossed, third time lucky. With me ploughing and sowing, me reaping and mowing, kind nature provides me with plenty. Of a garden well stored and a plentiful board, and a cellar provides every dainty. Let the mighty and great roll in splendour and state, I'll envy them not, I declare it. For I eat my own ham, my own chicken and lamb, and I shear my own fleece and I wear it. Save that for the end. That's one thing. Were it not for my seeding, you'd have but poor feeding, you'd surely be starved without me. I am always content when I pay up my rent, I am happy when friends are about me. Draw near to my table, my boys, when you're able, I'll hear not one word of complaining. For the jingling of glasses, all music surpasses, I love to see bottles a-draining. Aye, obviously. I have all things in season, both woodcock and pheasant. I'm here as a justice of quorum. At my cabin for end, I've a bed for a friend, a clear fireside and a jorum. I've a lawn and I've bowers, I've fruit and I've flowers. The lark is my morning alarm. Some jolly boys now that follows the plough, bring life and success to the farmer. Some jolly boys now that follows the plough, bring life and success to the farmer. I suppose you've just got to struggle on despite your physical handicaps. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. Yeah, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out was a thing that was sort of recorded late 30s, I think, by Bessie Smith. Spent all my money and I didn't have a care.
Now my friends are for a mighty good time, drinking all that good liquor and that champagne wine. And then I began to fall so low. Didn't have a penny, no place to go. If I ever lay my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna hold right on to it until the evil grins. 'Cause nobody knows you when you're down and down, down and out. In your pocket you ain't got one penny, and your friends now, you know you ain't got any. Well, as soon as you're on your feet again, they all come descend on your long lost friends. Now, well, I said it may seem mighty strange, but without a doubt, nobody knows you when you're down and out. Well, just as soon as you get back on your feet again, they're all gonna come descend on you, your long lost friends. Now, I said it may seem mighty strange, but without a doubt, nobody wants you. Nobody loves you. Yeah, nobody knows you when you're down and out.
Good evening. This is a a kind of a little name drops keep falling on my head sort of song. It's about the last time I played with John Randall and Bert Jans. It was at Darts in the Capricorn Club in Soho. I don't think we're finished. There's a line in this song for you, Brian. It's a kind of montage of being on the road travelling around about. It's called 1,000 Miles a Day. Get loaded and hit the road for 1,000 miles a day. I think that another drink's all I need to help me play. I've gone meeting Bert and John in a Soho hideaway, and I'm blind, true believer, yes I'm blind. There ain't many I can call my friends, well they're all good singers and they're drinking man. I get one taste and I'm gone again, 1,000 miles away. Slim thing getting up to sing and she's bound to steal the show. Tunes free in an open key, playing chords that I don't know. Tune take two on a deja vu for a song called Diamond Joe. And she's mine, true believer, yes she's mine. There ain't many women walked through my door, but they were all good looking and they knew the score. Some can't help coming back for more, 1,000 times a day. I allowed myself a bit of poetic license in that. It's a song called Old Tom's Song of the Collins. It's about an old man who obviously has a good memory because he still thinks about it. I think they call it a transmogrification ballad. He sort of sublimates and sort of feeds birds in his garden instead. That kind of bird. Now for the young ladies wear blackbirds and thrushes, sing merry, sing merry, now fly not from me. I would find me a garden full of green flowering bushes, wherein they may nest in the sweet month of May, with lilac and cherry and autumn's red berry, and oh, we'd sing merry till dawning day. And for the young ladies wear birds in my spinneys, sing clearly, no fly not from me. And not a thrush would I part with for 10 golden guineas, nor barter a blackbird for pearl of the sea. I'd love them so dearly, so late and so early, and oh, we'd sing rarely from every tall This is a song from the centre of country western music, Ochter Machti. It's renowned for its bands like Jimmy Shandon's Bluegrass Boys and Rab Noakes. It's got a lovely chorus. It goes, she was the lover of the lonely. Thank you, Hank. She was the first and the last one for me. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. You've got to have a re at the end of that. Tune goes, she was the only, the lover of the lonely. She was the first and the last one for me. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. Love you. Well, I've heard you call me a stranger to your country, and I've heard you say that I'll never belong. But now that I'm leaving, I'll tell you why I'm grieving, for I found a true love that proved you were wrong. She was the only love. She was the first, she was the first and the last. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. Now I've walked your hillsides, your forests and your valleys, I've sang in your taverns, and I've drank in your homes. Always thought I should be drank in your taverns. You gave me your friendship and you fed me from your table. Now far from this dusty old town, I must far from the only lover, far from the first and the last one. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. Guitar's really rising. I hope that maybe if fortune smiles upon me, I may return all my dear friends to see. The bottle we'll empty, and we'll drink to peace and plenty, and I'll wed my true love, my own sweet Mary. I'll wed the only love. I'll wed the first and the last one. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. I've heard you call me a stranger to your country, and I've heard you say that I'll never belong. Now that I'm leaving, I'll tell you why I'm grieving, for I found a true love that proved you wrong. She was the only lover of the lonely. She was the first and the last one for me. Castles may tumble, mountains crack and crumble, but time cannot change her, my own sweet Mary. Thank you.
I said I would sing this song, so I'll sing it now before I forget. It's a very peculiar song, in fact. It's a song about a man who was killed in the English-Scottish Wars of 1745. You might remember those wars, but the one outstanding thing to me about it is that there was a Frenchman leading the Scots and a German leading the English, and we all got beat. The Germans won, actually, because they're still there. But the intriguing thing about this song is that the guy in question, it's a song called MacCrimmon's Lament, and the guy in question was a man called Donald MacCrimmon, who was the brother of the last of the hereditary pipers to the MacLeods of Skye. And Donald MacCrimmon was one of these weird wee buggers, because MacCrimmon had a prophecy. No, that's the wrong word. Premonition. That was very good, that. A premonition that he was going to die the night before he was actually killed. Now, I didn't realize that was funny. I must keep that one. But Donald MacCrimmon had this premonition, and it was at an event called the Rout of Moy, which took place the day before the Battle of Culloden. Now, Donald MacCrimmon had a premonition, but to anybody else it would have been common sense, because Donald MacCrimmon in 1745 lived in Scotland among 7.5 million Scots. And for some reason, Donald MacCrimmon decided to fight on the side of the English. And he died. There you go. There's a song called MacCrimmon's Lament. Apparently, MacCrimmon was a great piper, and he wrote the tune the night before he died, but he made the great mistake His sister, actually, put the words to it, but she made the mistake of writing them in Gaelic. Now, I shouldn't imagine there's many people here that speak Gaelic. I don't speak Gaelic, fortunately, and I don't imagine there's many other people who do. But very, very conveniently, somebody took the trouble to translate them into English, which I'm very pleased about. I got the tune from Delina MacLean, who sings it in Gaelic, which baffled me entirely, and I got the words from Jeannie Robertson, which still baffled me because she sang it in Aberdonian. So I had it translated, and this is a slightly more articulate version, I suppose, in terms of words. MacCrimmon's Lament. Duncolan speaks the night a sailing, da banshee crowns her note of wailing, but mine blowing with sorrow I'm streaming for him who'll never return again, MacCrimmon. No more, no more, no more forever, and war nor in peace shall return, MacCrimmon, till dawns the great day of the mine burning. MacCrimmon's home no more returning. The breeze on the breeze as a mournfully mourning, the broken hollows paint of the mourning, but mine blowing with sorrow was streaming for him who'll never return again, MacCrimmon. No more, no more, no more forever, and war nor in peace shall return, MacCrimmon, till dawns the great day of the mine burning. MacCrimmon's home no more return. This must be the, I think out of all the Scottish songs that have been sung in folk clubs throughout the whole time of folk clubs, is this song. I think this has been sung most times, in fact. It's a song which was written by Hamish Henderson. You may have heard it sung by my two favourite grandmothers, Robin Hall and Jimmy McGregor. But I've always got the impression that this song has been sung without a great deal of thought. It's a song called the 51st Highland Division's Farewell to Sicily. And I think, you know, people who sing this song usually sing it as a big rave up, jump up and down, pour pints over your head, let's have a good time type chorus song. And how do we think about this song? And basically it's a song about a bunch of guys who joined the British Army during the Second World War to get rid of wee Adolf Hitler. And they joined up and they thought, right, now the jocks are in, this is going to be nae bother. All we've got to do is get down to Dover, batter our way across the North Sea to Calais and shove them back. But they reckoned without the wisdom of a man called Winston Churchill. Now, Winston Churchill reckoned that the shortest route between London and Paris was via Algiers. And he sent half of the British Army around through the north of Morocco and all these places in the hopes that Joe Stalin and his boys would be wiped out by wee Adolf, who was moving up that way. Because Winston Churchill was a secret admirer of Adolf Hitler's. And unfortunately that failed for wee Winnie. Fortunately for the rest of us, it didn't fail. But these guys fought their way across North Africa and they got to Sicily. And they arrived there, those of them that were left alive, arrived there pretty knackered, like. And they got a hold of the place eventually. And we're all sitting there thinking, thank Christ, that's all over, we can get home now. But they reckoned again without wee Winnie. He sent them a letter saying, lads, I know that you're very patriotic, and I know you've got leave due to you, but I'm not going to be so cruel to you as to ask you to take that leave. I know that what you want to do more than anything in the world is to do your bit for your country and go over to Italy and do the same thing to Italy as you've done elsewhere. So lads, I'm going to cancel your leave and I'm going to send you over there. At which point they all jumped up and down and poured pints over their heads and sang choruses. I get the impression that maybe this song had been done a wee bit fast, in fact. So I tend to do it a wee bit more seriously. If anybody falls asleep in this, actually, give them a whiskey or something and they'll revive. But I tend to do it a wee bit more slowly than that. Anyway, it's the 51st Highland Division's Farewell to Sicily. The tune is called the Farewell to the Creek. Let me tune this first.
Pipey is dozy, the pipey has fee. He will na come round for his vino the day. The sky o'er Messina's uncohan grey, and all the brick chomers are eerie. And farewell, ye banks o' Sicily, farewell, ye valiant Sean, there's name can slur the waves, oh, the brick chomers are eerie. Farewell, ye
banks of Sicily ferry wheel, ye valley and shore, there's nae joke, while more in the cales, all the Brookchomers are weary, and down the stair and lane, the waterside, waiting your turn, and the ferries a war, and down the stair and lane, the waterside, all the Brookchomers are weary. Drummy's Polish, the drammy has brought, he can't be seen, for his own weapon of war, he's based himself up for a 40 hand or till leave his Lola has dearie. Fair weary dives, O Sicily, fair ye wheel, ye sheathen and ho, well all mine shabeens and booties, for kind signorinas were cheery, and farewell ye dives, O Sicily, fair ye wheel, ye sheathen and home, well all mine shabeens and booties, for joke men a date me's dearie, and turn the pipes and drop the tenor drum, waiting your kit in the side home wall, and turn the pipes and drop the tenor drum, pair bloody squaddies are weary. This is another song I said I'd sing, so I'll sing it now actually. It's a song which has a chorus, in fact, and wait, what's it'll do. It's yeah, so it's a song which has a chorus. It used to be sung an awful lot at one time, but I haven't heard anybody else singing it for a long time. A song about the classic situation of unrequited love. Other than that, I can't think of anything about it. A song called The Rashi Moor. As I gaiden by yon Rashi Moor, fast spied I in my true love's door. My heart grew sad and mine grew blind, to see my bonny love leave me behind. Oh, are ye gang, love, to leave me now? Or will ye gang, love, and leave me now? Would ye forsake your ain true love, for to gang wi' a lad that you never knew? And as I come in by yon waterman, the brig was broken at yon mill dam. I bent my back and I took her through, but she's gone to leave me now. And it's all ye gang, love, and leave me now. Or would ye gang, love, and leave me now? Would ye forsake your ain true love, for to gang wi' a lad that you never knew? But it's I will tell ye the reason why. She loves another and cares no for I. And I will tell the reason to ye, for he has her more gold than me. And so will ye gang, love, and leave me now. And will ye gang, love, and leave me now? Would ye forsake your ain true love, for to gang wi' a lad that you never knew? And as I gaed in by yon rising shimmer, fast spied I in my true love's door. My heart grew sad and mine grew blind, to see my bonny love leave me behind. Oh, are ye gang, love, to leave me now? Or would ye gang, love, and leave me now? Would ye forsake your ain true love, for to gang wi' a lad that you never knew? I'd like to ask a friend of mine to come up and play a few tunes with me. A man who's done a great deal of work for the TMSA in Scotland, concertina player Tom Ward. They get in tune with you, tell me about.
This is 3 examples from the work of James Scotland Skinner. Or it's 3 Skinner's tunes. First tune's an air. Singing's a hornpipe called Pythagoras' favourite, you know, square root of some of the squares. Better known as a mathematician.
And the third one is it's a wee bit of a reel called The Left-Handed Fiddler. I think it must have been written for Angus Grant, you know. For the benefit of my guitarist, you know. First tune's in A, and the second one's in D, and the third tune's in A. Thanks. Think you've got problems?
said I would sing this, so I better sing it now. This is another song written by Hamish Henderson. A song called the John MacLean March, which is about one of the finest or most important politicians that ever arose this century. A fellow called John MacLean, who went to jail for his principles during the First World War. And I've never found anything to equal MacLean's words on the occasion. But his statement as to why he refused to join the British Army during the First World War, he explained it by saying that he didn't like joining in family quarrels, which sounded to me as good a reason as any. Also a very accurate reason. But anyway, MacLean got jailed. It's very sad that somebody has to die and then 50 years later become a trendy folk hero. MacLean became the sort of Che Guevara figure in 1973, which was amazing to me because MacLean looked nothing and behaved nothing like Che Guevara, but among the sort of trendy people in the sort of socialist vein, and MacLean became a groovy guy, and everybody became MacLeanites. But I think they thought it was some form of toothpaste or something, but they all did it anyway. They all wore MacLean badges and things. But John MacLean actually was a wee bit more important than that, because he was the only person ever to unite the working class on the west coast of Scotland, which is quite a job at the best of times. But MacLean did it. And this is a song about when he was released from prison in 1918. He went back to Glasgow, and by one of these great west coast coincidences, he found himself in Glasgow at the same time as there was a rent strike on, and a lot of people just packed up working that day anyway, and went out and they held a massive rally for MacLean on Glasgow Green. And this is a song Hamish wrote about that particular day. It's called John MacLean March. If you know it, please join in. Aye, Mac, did you see him as he come down Begorgie? A war o'er the Lammerlaw and north o' the Tay. Yon man is coming, and the hail turn has torn the roots. But share he'll win back to Glasgow the day. The Janers and Hoders on our marching frae Clyde Bank. Come on now and hear him, he'll be our thrang to bed. Turn out Jock and Jimmy, leave your crans and jar McColgan tread. Our John MacLean's coming home to the Clyde. Argyle Street in London roads the route that we're marching. The lads frae the Brummelaw are here to a man. Hey, Neil, where's your hodrums? You big heathen shooter, get your pipes, mate, and march at the head o' the clan. Hello, Pat Malone. Sure I knew you'd be here, so the red and the green lad will wear side by side. Gorbals has the day, and Glasgow belongs to him. Now our John MacLean's coming home to the Clyde. Forward to Glasgow Green, we'll march and get order. While Gypsy's banner wheel, that boy is nibble late. Hey, well, man, there's Johnny New, that's him there, the bonny fechter. Lennon's his fair lad, and McConnect's his mate. Tak 10 when he's speaking, for they'll mind what he said here, and Glasgow, Boer City, and the whole world besides. Oh, man, the scarlet's bonny, here's to you, Highland Shawnee. Our John MacLean's coming home to the Clyde. Aye, well, when it's finished, I'm a back to Springburn. Come home to your tea, John, will soon hang you fed. It's hard work for speaking, och I'm sure he'll be tired the night. I'll sleep on the flare, Mac, and gie John a bed. The whole city's quiet now,
it kens that he's resting. At him we has Glasgow friends, their fame and their pride. The red will be worn, my lads, and Scotland will march again. New great John MacLean has come home to the Clyde. John MacLean.
Finish up with a Scottish ballad again, which is probably, I don't know, when I went to school I learned a version of this in school and I thought it was the most horrible song I'd ever heard. But then again, I learned the song out of Cecil Sharp's Folk Songs for Schools book, which is enough to put anybody off it. But there you go. But the very funny thing, you know, again, with my really warped sense of humour, I find this song very funny, because it's a song about the old raggle-taggle gypsies idea, but you got this lady who lives in a big castle and is married to this guy who's a lord, like it's his castle, like, you know, and there they are in this big castle, and the lord goes out to the office or wherever he goes in the morning, and halfway through the day, there come round these three gypsies, and they start making like folk singers outside the front door, and they're chanting away there. And this lady suddenly decides that she's going to become the first groupie in the world. And she comes down the stair and runs away with them, which is fair enough, until the lord comes home, like. And he gets off his wee horse, and he goes in, and he sits down to his dinner. And he's sort of about halfway through his dinner when he realises there's something missing. And he reaches for the pepper and the salt, but they're all there. So he looks down and he realises that he's a wife short. So he sort of queries all the guys in the place, and they say, "Oh, well, your wife, you know, she pissed off about 3 hours ago with these gypsy guys." So he could have done two things. He could have gone to bed and forgot about it like a sensible man, or he could have gone to church and said a few prayers, but he didn't. No, he went down and he got his horse out and he went after them like a fool. So he chases them all the way and eventually he finds them. And he says to his wife, "Look, you coming home with me, like, you know, this has gone far enough." And she says, "No." So then he could have done two things. He could have gone off and got drunk, or he could have taken it like a man and gone home, but he didn't. He cut all their heads off, which I thought was hilarious. But it also struck me as being a bit obscene that a guy could actually take it upon himself, because he was the wee lord of the area, to go and cut other heads off. But the funny part about the song, the thing that amuses me most about it, is that they're all lying there on the ground, headless, with blood and guts and things coming out the top of their necks. And he turns around and he says to her, "Right, you coming home with me now?" And she says, "No. I'm going to stay here with these gypsy guys." So necrophilia and folk song still exists. But there you go. It's the song called the Gypsy Ladies. I think I learned half of this from Jeannie Robertson. I think I made up the other half, but there you go. That's very good. I'm glad I did that, because I just realised I'm out of tune. Still hopeless out of tune. The gypsies come to our door and bowet, and they sang bonny ho. They sang so sweet and so complete at the charm the hell of Phoebe's lady ho, and she come tripping down the stair where men and stone on the floor ho, and it took in look at her Milford face and it cast their spells out her ho, and the guitar the nutmeg fine like wines, the wee bad ginger oh, and the old dame stepped to her side, stole the gold ring off her finger oh, and she's ta'en off her silken gown, was on her tartan lady, and she's caught her maidens to her side, for to bid fair and we'll to the lady ho. But when her good Lord come home that night, he was spearing far as a lady. On the hound has run and the hawks are flown, aye, and the gypsies a wobbly and lady. Oh, gae saddle to me the bonny black steed, the brown was never so speedy ho, and the time when I'll burn it nor drink until I bring back my lady ho, and it's he's her east and he's her in west, and he's right through Strasbourg ho, until in spite of him bonny lass she was following the gypsy ladies ho. Well, the last time that I crossed the Sporn, I had dukes and lords to tend me oh, but this night time and talk to my white feet and wade, when the gypsies wade under in me oh. Well, I've 7 brothers among his own, but ye sang bonny ho, but this very night he will hang high, for still on the hell of Phoebe's lady ho, and it's he sent far a hangman for 5 and another 3 carcody ho, and he's laid them on to me and my hand, for still on was bonny lady ho. Last night I slept in a braw feather bed, the sheets and done so bravely ho, but this night I'm in lie in a cold barren field, when the gypsies lying are in me ho.
I would like to have more, you would like to more. We've run 35 minutes over time as it is. Just one thing before we finish, I'd like to say, Dick, 3 years is too long without Dick Gaughan. Anyway, I'd like to thank Dick for turning up tonight, Archie Fisher for doing fantastic floor spot, Ryan Miller, great floor spot, all the other singers that appeared, and yourselves for turning up. Do turn up next week. Next week, Bobby Eaglesham from Edinburgh. Thank you for coming. More sober going, and do be quiet going along the lane. We'll see you next week.